Here comes the axe. Here comes the smasher. I don't know which one of us. I gotta be the axe because I'm the old one. Richie's the smasher.
Yeah, you always called me Smasher before.
Yeah, you gotta be the smasher, bro. I'll be the axe.
I'll be Smasher.
Man, great song to lead us in tonight. We'll talk about Demolition later on tonight. So, looking forward to a great show tonight. Welcome to Wrestling with Reality. I am John, and joining me as always is my partner, Mr. Richie Reardon. What's up, buddy boy?
Just chilling, man. It is 91 degrees here in Arizona in early March. We are back in the heat, so we're going to turn it up here on the podcast, man. Do some interesting stuff.
Man, we sure are.
Ricky?
What's
Jeremy,
up, Ricky?
what's up, buddy?
Jeremy, what's going on, fellas? You can be Crush, man. I even played Crush's original song.
Lucky bastard. I love Crush.
Crush is awesome, man. I even played his original Kona song open us up tonight on the wait while I was shooting out all the links. So Crush is not going in with Demolition, but we'll get to that in a little bit. We'll talk about Demolition in just a little bit, and we'll talk about the Hall of Fame. We'll talk about more stuff. But what's been new with you, man? You been doing good?
Found a job. Congratulations, brother. Yeah, I'm doing good, man. My work's going really well, and we're starting to ramp up and getting massive jobs and shit like that. So everything's good on my end. How about you, man? You doing?
Rabbi's here. Got to give him an applause. Good to see him tonight. Another one for him. He's a good fellow. He's a very good fellow in my book. So mazel tov to Rabbi. I'm doing wonderful, my friend. It's been a really busy week, but it's been a really great week. We got a lot of fun events we're planning for the springtime and for educational conferences for my work and stuff now, man. And I love staying busy and I love my job. So I am blessed, man. I am doing great. I got some other great things to look forward to in the next coming weeks, hopefully. And life is fucking awesome, man. I really, really, really cannot complain. I hope everybody else is feeling the same exact way.
You and I, for a couple of years, we went on a stretch where it was either you or I or both of us at the same time having rough shit going on. It's nice for shit to mellow out for once for the both of us. I mean, you and I, when we talk now, it's just a normal conversation. How you doing? Stuff like that. It's not bad shit anymore. So it feels good, man. We've had a nice long stretch, knock on wood, of some positivity going on.
You got the baby coming. I'm getting married this summer. I mean, life is good, bro.
Yeah, less than 30 days for me, for my kid. And then you got your wife coming out here, and God,
soon to be
gonna be amazing stuff, dude.
Yep, soon to be, man. We'll be married in August, God willing, and you're gonna have your beautiful baby boy, and I'll have my beautiful bride here soon. So hey, man, life is good, and I hope the best for everybody. I'm glad to hear you got a new gig, Joey. Where are you working at, man? If you want to say, you don't have to if you don't want to, but glad you found a new gig, my friend. I am sure that is a very, very difficult thing to go through tonight. If you lose your job, I know you mentioned that the other week, but so
it seemed like you were there for a while too, if I'm not mistaken.
But you bounced back super fast, man. That's resiliency.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is resiliency.
That's resiliency right there, man. That's like when life kicks you in the fucking you know what. That's what you got right there. You're gonna sit over there and cry for yourself when you lose something, or you're gonna do what Joey did and get out there and go do it, man.
Yeah.
And be like, shit, something bad happened. We both been there, Absolutely. We all get that moment where we're just feeling angry and pissed, and then you're like, what do? Do I wallow in a ball and fucking cry? Nope, that ain't gonna do nothing. Boom.
Yep.
I'm gonna go out and get it like Joey did. So K-Pac, going back to bartending. I was there for 10 years. All right,
dude.
Good for you, cool. Man. Sure you make some good cash, man, and be able to have some great times. So that's awesome. Everything's still good, ready to see pics.
Yeah, man. Jax is healthy. Matter of fact, we're going to his last ultrasound tomorrow. So next time I will show you guys the ultrasound pictures right before he comes, and God willing, man, he's healthy. That's all I want, man. My last name, my wife's looks, and him healthy. That's it.
There you go. I like that. My last name, her looks. Definitely not like me.
Yep.
That's awesome, man. It's a great step, though, and you're gonna do fucking kick ass at it, man.
Appreciate it, dude. I had to take my daughter out of soccer, out of the place she was playing soccer at.
Why?
Because one of the soccer coaches, who was a pastor it's a church called CCV. It's a big one out here.
Okay.
We don't participate in the church, but we did participate in the sports program there. Okay. And my daughter did play soccer. It's all over the news out here. The pastor, who was a soccer coach out here, was a pedophile.
What?
Yeah.
What the?
Yep.
Whoa.
Yep. So when I found that shit out, man, I made the call to yank her out of there, much like a lot of other parents and stuff. And the reason why was because in my mind, when you start pulling at that string and they have somebody there that's an authority figure and maybe in a top position like that, you don't know who's going to come out of the woodwork that also participates in it. And furthermore, when this bastard was in court, they had the whole congregation show up in his defense when he was caught red fucking handed. You know, I'm all about giving somebody a chance to defend themselves in court. If they're innocent, let it be proven. If they're guilty, let it be proven. In the police report, this guy was caught red-handed with what he was doing, and he admitted it.
And they were standing up for him still?
They were standing up for him still.
Dude, that's wild, bro.
So I said, fuck that.
I would too, man. You made the right call on that.
Yeah.
There's a million other places to go other than that, man.
Yeah, she's disappointed, like, but you know what, dude? I can't put my money towards that. You know that. So
no, not at all. 8-pounder. I don't know if you want to
wish we can start taking bets, man. I'm gonna say he's about 6.2, 6.5 pounds. I was 2 pounds 2 ounces when I was born.
How much were you?
2 pounds 2 ounces.
Jesus, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Fire up the wood chipper, yeah, for sure.
Wood chipper.
That's where people like that fucking belong. Always, Joey, man. You rocked it, man. Congratulations, bro. We were always rooting for you, for sure. 8-pounder. I'm gonna go with 7 pounds 3 ounces. I'm gonna take 7 pounds 3 ounces. So 7 pounds 3 ounces. Your guess is what?
Mine is gonna be about 6.3. I'd say 6.4.
All right, maybe we'll have to take a little poll here before the baby comes and see who wins.
Yep.
Man, I cannot imagine it's an easy feat to go through for the ladies. Man, I'm sure glad I'm a man on that one.
Yeah, you know, I couldn't imagine crapping out a watermelon like that, dude. Probably tear you open and change your life forever, change your body forever, all the stuff that it takes.
You're not fucking squeamish and shit, right?
No.
All right, because it's going to change your fucking life, bro, to watch that shit. Just don't watch the afterbirth, bro.
I've been through, so little bit of backstory. One of my friends, her baby's dad ended up dying of a heroin overdose, so I ended up going with her into the delivery room just to be there for her, you know, and saw that shit. So I've already seen what it looks like and everything like that. So it's not my first time experiencing being in the delivery room, but it'll definitely be the first time being mine.
Yeah.
So
the afterbirth is like the most fucking disgusting thing in the world to see.
Yeah. My wife's a trooper though, dude. Like she's taking everything with stride, and I respect her so much. We've gotten everything for the baby prepared, everything set up, ready to go. So now it's just a waiting game, you know.
Jesus Christ! Excuse my terminology.
8 kids, 14.5
pounds.
That's like the size of a Thanksgiving turkey, bro.
That's got to be like a fucking world record right there. Sorry, Lord, for using your name in vain there. I apologize. I try to never do that.
Holy cow.
As soon as I saw 14.5 pounds, I'm like, what the man? Wow. How big is he now?
God bless the woman that did that. Good grief.
Yeah. How big is he now? Like, what's his size? That's a big hoss of a kid right there.
Is brutal.
Whoa. They had to have gotten a cesarean for that one, you know? Had to have gotten a cesarean at that point. Because I don't know if you're fitting 14.5 pounds outside of, through that thing. Wow.
No thanks.
Yeah. Whoa.
No, thank you, man. No, thank you. That is no good.
Hell, man. That is wild.
God.
14-pound kid. I bet he got SEC offers the night he was born.
14-pound
kid. He was born in the house. He's dead now, but he's over 300 pounds. Wow. That's wild, dude. Yeah. Wow. I'd have been grooming that kid, like Ricky said from the start, to be like the next fucking defense Myles Garrett, fucking just some
be a
freak
player.
Athlete. Yeah, seriously, football player,
God.
Some just brute, man, because you know that he was a big kid too. So that's tremendous.
That's insane, dude.
And God bless the mother for carrying a 14.5-pound child. You know, God bless her. She must have been in agony. What the hell? That was something.
That's not the size of a kidney stone, my friend.
Woo! And I've heard kidney stones are bad. You have those, don't you?
I've had in the time that I've been in this field, I've had 3, and I've had probably 6 UTIs.
Jesus, dude. Wow.
Yeah.
What's that from? Stress?
Just being out in the desert and the dirt and fucking, just working in the filthy fucking attics and shit out here. As far as the kidney stones and stuff, it's dehydration. I have severe dehydration as it is. Like, dude, when I start working and sweating and shit like that, like for some reason my radiator runs hot. My body, God bless me with a really bad radiator and body temperature. So I don't store water very well. So
okay, do you drink enough water?
Oh fuck. Yeah, I drink. That's the only thing I drink is water, man. I drink shitloads of water.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then in your field with the dehydration you go through, it's got to be just killer.
Yeah, I keep liquid IVs on. I've had to order IVs to my house.
Wow.
So, yeah,
that's impressive right there.
Yeah.
You guys are hitting me with some amazing feats tonight, my lord.
Yep.
I don't think anything tops. I'm still mesmerized at a 14.5-pound fucking kid, man.
That's got to be a record.
Well, what is the record size for a baby? Let's see.
That's got to be pretty close to the record.
Let's see what it is.
I don't know if you've seen South Park before, but Bono was like 30 Keurigs.
I haven't seen that episode, no. The heaviest baby in the world is 22 pounds.
Holy shit.
22 pounds.
That's a Thanksgiving turkey, bro. Like you go to the freezer at Thanksgiving and you grab that big ass turkey. That's what that lady had.
That might be bigger than the one I had this year. That's wild,
that's fucking massive when you think about it.
22 freaking pounds, bro.
Yeah, I think my kid was like when she hit 4 or 5 years old, she was like 30 pounds. So that's 10, that's scary, dude.
That was in 1955, and the kid.
What did the baby look like?
I don't. It was 1955, so I don't see a picture of it or anything like that. Let me click on it here. Let me see. I don't think there's a picture of it. Oh my God, there is. Holy shit!
Oh my God!
Hold on. Whoa! Jesus!
Wah.
Holy shit! This kid's big, bro. What the fudge? Man,
we went off the rails already tonight.
We sure as fuck did, bro. Look at this kid, bro.
What the fuck is that thing?
That kid's a linebacker, man.
Dude. That's Manti Te'o.
That's a linebacker of a kid right there. Jeez. God. My Lord. It's a big baby right there.
Jeez.
Wow. Yeah, it says the Guinness Book for the world's heaviest baby to survive infancy belongs to a boy weighing 22 pounds, 8 ounces, was born in Aversa, Italy in 1955. It's the biggest one ever. Man, crazy shit, huh?
Yeah.
Crazy, man. Joey says, UFC, the 2000s UFC is on Paramount, but no Hendo Bisping. Man, that elbow at the end of that when he knocks Bisping clean is one of my favorite moments.
Yep, when he Superman punches him right in the face. He got screwed the second time they fought. I thought Hendo won that fight.
His father-in-law told him, can you cut the cord? Just think of it as a purple Slim Jim. Jesus, man.
Fair enough.
Oh, jeez, man. There's actually been some decent news in wrestling this week and in combat sports in general. Let's hit combat sports, though, first tonight. Let's kick off with the little UFC talk tonight. The White House card is supposed to be announced this week. I was hoping it was going to be announced by now, but it's not out yet.
Yeah, we're probably talking Friday because they have the PLE this weekend. Dana White likes to do it right before that. So I'm assuming probably Friday night. We'll see something about it. It probably, we all know. Listen, it's no coincidence that Pereira vacated his title. Okay.
Yeah.
And the only fight that makes sense for him, because they've already booked Yuri for another fight, so thank God we're not seeing them for the 100th fucking time. Pereira, the only logical matchup for that, if he drops his belt, he's obviously going for a different belt. And Tom Aspinall is the interim champion. John Jones was the actual champion. So the only logical thing is to put the heavyweight championship on the line, Pereira versus John Jones.
Probably yes, but they also could throw a monkey wrench in there because Tom Aspinall is not coming back anytime soon. Let's be realistic of that. He's going to
They're
be
going to
out.
strip him with the belt.
Oh, 100%. They might throw a little snafu and put Cyril Gane in there, though, too.
Against who?
Against Pereira for the belt.
Who wants It'd be such that shit?
I don't either, bro. I'm just saying that, you know, if they can't get
John Jones smoked Cyril Gane in like fucking what,
90 seconds.
Yeah, 90 seconds.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying. I think that's their backup plan if they can't get something worked out with Jones.
Here's my thing, and this is a question I'll pose to you: is how does Pereira put that much weight on that quickly?
He's not. He's gonna walk out. He's gonna walk in he's gonna work out the same. He's gonna walk in exactly what he would do before he cut weight. You know, like he's probably gonna come in there at 220 to 225 maybe. And he's going to stick at that, bro. Like, you put too much weight on, what does it do? It takes away your speed, you know?
That's what I was going to say. He's known for them quick jabs, them quick hooks. A lot of that agility is going to be taken away from him. So I wonder if this is going to hurt him.
I don't think so, because of the fact is he's going to walk around at his pre-cut weight. If anything, he's going to have more energy potentially by moving up in weight. You know, if he sticks to around the same way. Let's be realistic. The division is a bunch of candy asses in the heavyweight division right now. It's the shits, okay? He doesn't need to pack on 30 pounds of muscle or fat or however you want to do it, or 30 pounds of weight to be able to get in there.
John Jones went a little bit overboard when he got ready for the heavyweight division.
And it slowed him down a little bit when he fought in there, even though he was still
killer. He looks bloated to me.
Yeah, he really does. Like, it just doesn't fit him. No. For sure. You know, I mean, he looked a little slower. It made him look a little bit off, but it's not like he didn't go quick work on people when he was in there. You know,
right.
He crushed them, you know, fast, like you said. And Cyril Gane's no slouch. Let's be realistic. He's not a slouch by any means. You know,
he smoked him though. You know,
absolutely smoked him. And it didn't Aspinall and Gaines fight originally? Wasn't it a fairly? I think they fought once, right? Where Aspinall beat him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe he did, and he didn't knock him out or anything like that. And John Jones, like I said, and you said, took him out in about 90 seconds and made it easy. So
90 seconds. So my prediction is this: if it's John Jones versus out, because listen, the UFC is already saying they're losing about $60 million after this is all said and done. I project it's probably going to be a little bit more than that. I'm leaning more towards probably 70, 80 million, just because of damage to the White House lawn and all that stuff. They're going to have to replace it all, and they're responsible for it. I'm going to go on record and say the reason why McGregor and people like that weren't on this card was because of money issue. They're trying to draw money off of McGregor, maybe to recover it from this event, which is a smart business move. But if you're trying to construct the best fight card of all time, I don't really understand it. But, John Jones versus Pereira is the only fight besides a McGregor return or something to that fact, besides maybe a Ia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje, that I think that you could slide in there and make it live up to the hype.
I think it's the biggest matchup to make for all of them. You know, the two best fighters of forever, John Jones being the GOAT, and everybody, I think just about everybody's opinion would be he's the GOAT. And Pereira, who's won belts at middleweight, light heavyweight, and
he could be the first triple-weight champion.
Absolutely. And the guy's a killer too. But, I think it's the biggest matchup for them to make. I don't think there's anyone bigger, including anything with McGregor in it. Yes, McGregor's name, all that shit. I think if you're looking at legitimacy and you want to make this card legendary, you got to have that bout on there. You don't need Conor McGregor to make this card legendary. Conor McGregor can come and do anything, and he's going to make it big. All right. You want to make this legendary, put these two in here that don't like each other, that, are the badasses of both divisions. John Jones never lost the light heavyweight title. won the world or won the heavyweight title with ease. Now you got this other guy who's won the middleweight title with ease, never lost the middleweight title, went up to light heavyweight, won that, never lost it. Come on. This story's written, and it's the best matchup.
It's already there.
It's there. It's right there in front of them.
And then you got Kayla Harrison versus Nunez you can throw on that card. You stack it with fucking Ila Taporia versus Justin Gaethje. You throw a couple jabronis like Colby Covington and shit like that just for, the point of he's a MAGA guy or whatever the fuck. You could make this whole card legendary. I mean, you have the talent there. You don't need to bring, Jorge Masvidal back and all these guys. You have the talent and the puzzle pieces to do this the right way. Do I think that Dana White's serious, though, in the fact that he'll flip the switch at a drop of a hat and get John Jones off of there if he wants to? Yeah, because John Jones's reputation isn't the best. But if you want to make this the most legendary card, I just feel that has to be the fight, right? That's got to be the main event.
It has to be, and all the cards are lining up with it. Now, here I'll ask you, I don't know if we've ever talked about this on the air here, but let me ask you this one. I know it's a way too early prediction, but if they were to fight, meaning Jones and Pereira, who are you picking in this one?
It's hard because Pereira, it'll be his first fight, I believe, at heavyweight in any combat sport. John Jones has already been there. John Jones has beat Cyril Gane with ease. He smoked Stipe Miocic with ease. I've always said it. I agree with Dana White. If anybody walks in a room with John Jones and it's a life or death situation, John Jones is going to walk out every time. I believe that. So I got to go John Jones with this. I think he's probably going to spark Pereira maybe round 2. I'm going to say probably technical knockout.
That's exactly what I'm thinking right there is 2 rounds at the most, John Jones. It's not even going to be close.
He's just on a different level than anybody else. And I'm not a John Jones dick rider. I'm not the biggest fan of him as a person, but I can respect his contributions to the sport and I can respect talent. This guy is above everybody else when it comes to that, because you got to understand something. He did his legendary career on drugs and not committed fully, and could you imagine what it would have been like had he committed fully during that whole time? He's a killer. And I don't think anybody can stand in the cage with John Jones, and especially, at the White House in the biggest moment of the biggest fight of the biggest card of the UFC history. You're not going to defeat the GOAT. You're just not. He's going to have too much to prove out there, and a John Jones with something to prove is a scary individual.
I don't think he's going to let this opportunity slip him by either, to be honest with you.
No.
He's fucked up enough shit for himself. I don't think he's fucking this one up for himself on this one.
You're going to see the best John Jones of your life.
And he's going to make quick work of this guy.
I think round 2 technical knockout, probably in the beginning of round 2.
He's always in the gym, and I know he doesn't always take it as seriously. Like they said, he's always in the gym. He's been working on stuff. I'll say this though: win, lose, or draw, I think it's his last fight for sure.
Yeah, I think it'll be his last fight in the octagon. I think there's some potential for him to go over to BKFC. There's some potential for him to do the Real American Freestyle. So
that's more where I see him at. I don't think he's doing fighting anymore.
And then he's got his Dirty Boxing, that he co-owns with Mike Perry. So
okay, he's got a lot of opportunities for himself.
If he wants to elevate his own Dirty Boxing, to get in there as a one-off fight, might be a smart move for him too. You never know.
I think it would fuck his legacy up if he lost anything. So
yeah, it would.
Listen, I'm in no ring. I'm not in ring shape right now, Jeremy. Okay, I'm not in ring shape right now. But if they gave me 6 to 8 months, I would take her on in an exhibition if she would accept the challenge in a friendly exhibition.
In a judo exhibition?
Not judo, just a friendly exhibition.
I'm gonna say you would have to rub your body on that.
That's why I don't want to touch. I'm going to keep her at an arm. No, I'm not going to divulge my secrets. Okay, what I would do. But
would you hit a woman?
If it was a combat fight and it was sanctioned and Natty wanted to go, then I guess I would. If it was a combat sport and it was sanctioned,
I'm bending you over a barrel here, dude.
if it was a combat sport and it was sanctioned, why not? For Natty Night, I'm just fucking with you.
We just got canceled.
I'm just fucking with you, bro. No, of course not. Absolutely fucking not, bro. But
you'd shake the shit out of her, though, right?
What's that?
You would shake the shit out of her, though, right? Tell her she sucks.
I would tell her right to her face that she fucking sucks. Now, listen, if I was
we got to go to a meet and greet with Natty there and just put you in line with her, dude. That would be so fun. You could walk up and be like, bitch, I don't even want an autograph. I just want to tell you something real quick.
If I was a ground technician, I'll say this, though, and I'm not. So I'm not a ground technician. If I was a guy that had good ground training and stuff like that, I would roll with a girl, to roll with them or whatever it is in a jiu-jitsu competition, That's deep. That I would.
You would want to get that intimate and touching with Natty?
No, I wouldn't. That's why. Hence, why I don't do jujitsu and wrestle like that at my age, like that, man. I don't want to be.
I swear to God, I'll steal a line from Sam Elliott and fucking, we were soldiers, and you assholes fucking say Nia Jax, I'll kill you.
Oh man, no. If I had ground training, maybe I would take her on for sure. Why not? Yeah. But. In all reality, as Natty Neidhart would probably on the mat stretch me out real quick right now and take me down. She's been in the dungeon training, brother. Okay.
Yeah.
She's in the dungeon training every day. She's a peak athlete in the highest condition. Sorry, I just threw up in my mouth just lying and saying that right now. She fucking sucks.
Yeah. She's got the best charisma too.
She wasn't on TV this week, was she? I didn't see her.
Yeah, she was.
Was she? Is that the part I missed?
Yeah.
Thank God, okay, that I missed that part then. Was it after El Grande Americano?
I believe so. She was on there, though.
I turned it off for a while at that point. What was she doing?
I can't remember.
That's exactly like most of Natty's career. Hey, tell us about Natty's career? I can't remember. She was the farting girl.
She was the farting girl.
Yeah, she was the girl that had flatulence problems, all right?
Let's see. Was she on Raw?
I didn't see her when I watched it. I watched most of the show. I'd say I watched
She's 43 years old.
All right.
Yeah, maybe she wasn't on this last week.
Yeah, I didn't. I watched about 60 to 70% of the show this week, and I didn't see her when it was on. So, yeah. But I don't know. Going back to UFC though, all jokes aside, with everything that I'd love to see this matchup, man. It would be exciting.
Rewind's here.
Whoa, here he goes. Don't worry, John. When Natty got done stretching you, I'd be there to massage you and nurse you back to health, big guy. Magic hands, rewind.
Hell yeah.
All right. What a guy he is, all right?
We missed you, Rewind.
We did. Hold on, Rewind. See, we got to give him the proper. And if Rabbi comes back, we have to give him this now. Yeah. I think that's the way it has to be when
natural order of things.
Yeah, it sure is. It's the natural order of progression. We did the Elimination Chamber this week and had a great time on the stream doing that. We had a lot of fun. It was a decent show, as we mentioned, so I'm not going to go back and recap the Chamber, but we like we both said, you watched Raw all the way through this week, right?
I watch Raw every week. That's the one show I commit to.
Okay. And like I said, I watched about 60, 70% of it probably this week. And I thought it was a really good show from what I saw.
I did too.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, man. The part that I was the most happy about the whole night was Penta winning the Intercontinental Championship. Yeah. He finally got a win, finally got the title. He's going to be featured at Mania. That's what that guarantees. And, it was a rebuttal for the Danhausen critics. He showed up and basically proved that he could do a good promo. Yeah, Danhausen. Yep. He could do a good promo. And, you and I were discussing off air a lot of good ideas for him. A partnership with R-Truth, I think, would be phenomenal for Danhausen. I think it'd be funny for both of them to come out dressed like him, and then vice versa, and switch it up and the comedic acts you could get out of that. Maybe get a tag team title run or two in there, and get this guy some exposure. I think the future's bright for Danhausen. His size is going to cripple him a little bit, but I really think that they're onto something with this kid. So
I think
apparently he was brought in by The Rock too. That's a hell of a fucking
really.
Yeah, that's who actually started the negotiation for him was The Rock, because I guess he watched him on AEW and really liked his shit.
I thought it would have been Punk because they were, they're good friends in real life.
Yeah,
I'm
maybe.
sure Punk was probably advocating for him too. Then,
Yep.
listen, if you never watched this guy, at first you're going to get a glimpse and just, oh, it's corny and it's goofy, whatever. Give this guy a shot, though, for anybody watching this. Give this guy a shot. Trust me, I felt the same way when I got first introduced to him years ago. My buddy Daniel was a huge fan of him.
That was a terrible way to bring him in, though. Let's be honest.
Oh, it was. But see, the thing is, if you have talent, you can work through that and you can get all that shit overlooked, and it'll be a big gag and a joke later on. Danhausen's best wrestling was with Hook when he tagged with the Future Goat. Yeah, I forgot they were a tag team.
Rewind, I got a straight up question to ask you. When do you think Hook is going to make his debut in WWE?
All right, there you go. Good question. We'll wait for his answer. But, you get a shit gimmick, you can either flounder, or you can just see what it's sink or swim,
Yep.
It's sink or swim for you. And yeah, I can't wait till he calls him Pepsi Phil. I love that shit when he calls him that. Yeah, Pepsi Phil is what he calls him. He's fucking hilarious. Watch his clips. Give him a shot. I promise you, you won't be disappointed if you go into it with open mind with this guy. Overlook the size. He's never going to be a world champion. That's not what it's going to be. He's going to give you great comedy on television. He's extremely witty. He's extremely funny. He's extremely good at what he does. He's a decent worker in the ring, too. His gimmick is funny. He's going to overcome this. And a great way that he overcame it this week was by doing this stuff with Dominic Mysterio. Me and my buddy Daniel were talking about it before Raw this week and after his thing. And I was like, what'd you think about the box thing? And we both said it was just awful, of course, as everybody else did. And then he goes, he'll work through it. He goes, he'll work through that and he'll come out of it on top and then some because he's that creative.
And he pretty much has.
And he will, and we both said the first thing that he should do is they should pair him up with Dominic Mysterio in some way. Dominic Mysterio is a heat magnet. Danhausen could have comedy gold with him. And Dominic is tremendous at what he does. He plays everything up. He has no shame himself. He'll do anything that he has to do to get over his gimmick, his character, whatever it might be. These two would be gold together. And like you said later on, pairing him with an R-Truth, dude, those two would be so funny together.
Absolutely.
Would make great TV for sure. Rewind says, I think Dom will win Money in the Bank this year, and after Dom cashes and in and wins the belt, Hope will come along and beat him for it. So the next year, maybe. It's coming. Rewind's prediction.
Welcome.
But this was the perfect way to get the strap off Dominic Mysterio, too, because Danhausen cursed him,
Yeah.
He cursed him, so it was a good way and a good kind of cheap way to overlook Dominic dropping the strap. Dominic dropped the strap to set up a feud with Finn and to move on to bigger and better things because I do think he's going to win Money in the Bank this year for me. Yeah. And you're giving a great person and a great competitor and an awesome star an opportunity to shine now as the IC champ, with that being Penta. And I know you were super excited about that because you're your favorites.
Yeah, Penta winning the Intercontinental Championship makes sense. It's grooming him. I know they see a lot in him. And, I'm so glad that they haven't paired him up with Rey Fenix. Like, I get it. They're a great tag team. They're phenomenal together. I've seen enough of that. I want Pentagon Jr. to flourish. I want him to be a main event star. I think they can build that brand around him to where he could be a champion. I really do.
He's marketable enough.
Absolutely.
His English language is getting there.
The fans fucking love him, dude.
Absolutely love him. They think he's just the fucking greatest thing when he comes out. Everybody's into his intro. You see all the kids want to have his masks and shit all the time now. I mean, he's got to be a great merch seller for them. If you push him even more, he's going to make him even more money when they get the machine behind him a little bit more. Love the crate. Love his entrance. I love what he did last night on Raw. Danhausen is hit and miss with me. Sometimes he's annoying. Sometimes he's funny. So we'll see what happens. I saw a funny video with him today with John Bradshaw Layfield, the wrestling god JBL, and Ron Simmons. And they were doing a video on Danhausen's channel. And instead of calling them the APA, he calls them the Acolyte Protection Agency. He calls them the Ass Pounding Agency. And he goes right up to him and does it. He's so funny, man.
What's up, Rand? Get the muffins.
Get the fucking muffins. Rand is here. What's up, buddy? But no, it's a great move, I think, with Penta. I really, really like that to see. And, big things, I think, are going to be on Penta's horizon over the next couple of years, too.
For sure.
I think this is going to elevate a lot of people by taking the strap off of Dominic here. I think Dominic's going to get elevated real high. What I don't want to see, I'll say this right now, when I see where they're going with him and, Finn Balor is, I think, what the WrestleMania is going to be. I don't want to see Dominic Mysterio lose to Finn Balor, bro. And he's gonna. Yep. I mean, do you agree?
I think that they're going to take this curse thing a little bit further. Yeah, I think he'll lose for sure. And I think it might even spill over into Liv Morgan's match.
So you think it might cost her the match?
I think it might cost her the match, which in turn will cost them to go their separate ways.
Interesting.
Because how else do you write Liv out of the Dom picture?
I don't want to see him write him out yet. I think they work so good together, but I think it's a great way that if they want her to be on her own now and really get rid of this Judgment Day thing, I think it's a great way, like you mentioned there, to do it. I don't want to see it yet. I like them as a pair. I really do. I like them as a pair. I think Dominic's going to go babyface in the next year or so. Probably.
Do you think they can make it as that? Like they're going to have to copycat the whole rate.
Here's how you make
thing.
Here is how you make Dominic Mysterio a babyface right here. Okay. If you put him on a little bit of a losing streak, so be it. They might put him on a little bit of a losing streak, but no matter how they do that, win, lose, draw, whatever in this process, if you want to make him a babyface, the best person to make him a babyface right now is his father and Gunther, because Gunther retiring Ray and beating the fuck out of Ray or something like that to end that match, and Dominic coming out to save his dad and finally go back and embrace him after his dad got beaten and retired by Gunther. And Dominic Mysterio could go on to be the person that finally beats Gunther and takes him down for what he did to his dad. Then that elevates him to the next level. You
think Gunther retires him?
Yes, I do.
I was thinking that they should have Ray take the other title off him because of the curse, the AAA title.
I don't think he can get in the ring that much anymore, bro. I think they can only get a few shots out of him a year, if I was to take a guess, to be honest with you.
His knees are so bad.
He's had so many surgeries. It's all the time, he'll come and go for a little bit. I think they need to give him one last push. And how in wrestling they always do it. Somebody goes, when you go out, somebody takes you out, man. And somebody gets the rub from it. It's an even bigger rub if Gunther takes him out and beats him. And then you have the opportunity to finally get some vengeance on Gunther. Dominic Mysterio could do the babyface turn and finally avenge what he did to his dad. Because to me, what I would do if he fought Ray and retired him, say at WrestleMania, at the end of the match, I wouldn't just have him pick Ray up and handshake with him or give him his moment. I would have him continue to fucking destroy him right after the match and just.
I would have him take his mask off too.
Yep, 100%, like he did this week with the Dragon guy, Dragon Lee, with what he did with the mask.
Yeah, but I want him to bloody Ray up too.
Absolutely. Beat the shit out of him at the end of the match. Make this some really great feud where they can make it really nasty between them. And of course, Gunther's going to go out on top, take him out, bloody him up, beat the shit out of him at the end. And then you pull that WrestleMania 7 moment where Sensational Sherry's kicking the fuck out of the Macho Man and the babyface comes back in there, Miss Elizabeth. Make Dominic the babyface, comes out, makes the save for his dad. They finally rekindle. They get that moment together. Ray rides off into the sunset. Dominic goes to take out Gunther. Babyface Dom, he beats Gunther. World title Dom right after that. That's what I would do.
Fair enough.
What do you think?
Yeah, that's a great way to. But I don't think I would change much of that.
Ray's the last guy on the roster to wrestle in WCW. His last match needs to be against Dom, in my opinion. A lot of people think that, but I think they've had so many at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul does absolutely nothing for me.
No, me neither.
Logan Paul under the Vision has gotten so bad. Like he's not the same. He's not the same guy, in my opinion. He just, I don't know. Something about it made him take like 5 steps back for me.
He can get great heel heat and shit, but he doesn't need to be with this flunky group of people, man. He doesn't need it.
Austin Theory has got to be the biggest fucking charisma vacuum since Natalia Neidhart.
Seriously, bro. Whatever he touches or they give him in any way is fucking cursed. You know, he sucks. He just
really
sucks.
bad.
Awful. You know, just no fucking personality whatsoever. Just, you know, decent worker in the ring, nothing exciting, you know,
horrible outfits.
Awful. No gimmick whatsoever. Just punchable face, and not because he's a good heel, just because he looks like a douchebag. Like, there's really not much good about Austin Theory that I can see. I don't know. If you guys are Austin Theory fans, you tell me. I don't get it. And I have zero
I don't
urge.
think there's an Austin Theory fan in our fucking crowd at all.
I don't think so either. I would be really blown away if there was, for sure. And I have zero urge to see Seth Rollins and Logan Paul. It's fucking stupid. I don't like it. No common sense to this match that I want to see. Why Logan Paul? You know, why Logan? How is he the? How is Logan the person that's getting this match with Seth? Is it just by process of elimination at this point? You know, it's the best you can do.
Yeah, because the vision is the shelf now. I mean, you don't have any of the main players anymore. You know.
Oh God, we'll see.
Do you think Austin Theory was brought in just because the guys got injured?
That's a good question. I really wasn't paying enough of attention to the product that I thought that there was a big need for them to bring anybody else in at that point. So, you know, from what I saw, I'd have to say that, yeah, he probably was like a backup plan when they lost somebody, you know. Same thing with Logan Paul. I guess they figured, you know, you lose Seth, but if you combine Logan Paul and Austin Theory, he equals Seth, which isn't true. And I'm not a Seth fan, so that tells you a lot about how marketable to me Logan Paul and Austin Theory are in this faction. It's
I'll never forgive Seth Rollins for what he did to Sting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, with the buckle bomb.
Yep. Never. That spot should have never fucking happened.
Austin Theory reminds me of the guy at a gas station that'll beg for $1 to get a pack of smokes. He might be there one day.
And then when you walk out and you tell him you only have a card, he's got a clover for you to run your card in.
You gotta be shitting me, Jeremy. All right. Like, really? Paul Heyman said on Busted Open and compared Austin Theory to HBK. Wow. That's a fucking ballsy statement from Paul Heyman.
Normally on this show with shit like that, we would say welcome, 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 but I would like to punch him in his mouth for that. That is ridiculous.
That deserves a good one of these.
Yeah, and 5 more. Shit.
I could go on with those for the rest of the show.
I think Paul Heyman's the goof of the fucking week for that.
I think that hold on. I think I'd have to agree with you on that one, my friend. But does he get the Don Fries goof of the week?
He gets the Don Fry stamp of disapproval.
He sure does.
No, Mark Kerr's a fucking goof. He's a fucking goof. Jeez. Anybody who knows him knows he's a goof.
What a fucking statement.
What a fucking goof he is.
He's a big Austin Theory fan. He talks very highly of him. Wow. To compare him to HBK.
Well, there's not a lot to talk about, so I'm not sure what the fuck he's saying.
They've given this kid every opportunity in the world, and he just doesn't do it. You know? Yeah. Jeremy's agree with you. Doesn't forgive him for the set.
Yeah, I'll never forget. Dude, that was such a stupid ass spot. Sting had no business taking a buck. You might as well fucking do that to Ric Flair. I mean, how fucking retarded was that? And not only that, it potentially robbed us from the Sting Undertaker match. I firmly believe that if Sting would have been healthy after that match with Rollins, we might have got the Undertaker versus Sting match.
Probably would have re-signed for a couple more years too. Stuck around with him, you know, because
he did it in AEW.
Yeah, he came back about 4 or 5 years after or something like that. You know, I mean, I was blown away when he came back to AEW. I remember we both were. You know, we were super excited for that, but we were blown away after that injury that he sustained that he was going to get back in there at his age. And boy, does he make everybody eat their words. So if it wasn't for that buckle bomb, you know, we could have maybe potentially got a couple more good years of him in WWE.
We would have got the most requested match of all time.
Him and Taker. Yeah. I'll be honest with you, too. I think if Sting stayed healthy, I think they might have given him a shot with the belt for a short run at the end, probably. I think they probably would have done that. I know people are going to say, oh, no, they want to bury the WCW guys and whatever. Listen, people are about making money, too. And if they realize they can make money, and he was pulling in a lot of cheese for them at the time with his merch and just he's Sting. So I don't know. I mean, Austin Theory and fucking HBK though, no thank you, my man. Jeremy just sent me the link too, so it's legit. That's crazy.
That's scary.
Yeah, it sure is. It sure is. Did you see this story this week about Jade Cargill?
That she's got a lot of heat in the back.
A lot. She's got nuclear fucking heat, bro.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who doesn't like her. And
she's not safe in the ring.
Yeah, and apparently her attitude was real shit too. I'll tell you who doesn't like her the most out of everybody that's
Natalia?
back there. No, I didn't see if Natalia said anything.
I'm kidding.
I was about to say I don't pay attention to anything that she says, but the one that girl Piper Niven, and Piper Niven has no reason to be going online and doing some kayfabe bullshit, fake Twitter battle with somebody. She's injured and her career's probably over right now. There's a high likelihood of it, and probably is never going to get back in the ring again.
Did she break her neck?
I believe it was her neck. Yeah, I believe she had broke her neck or something like that, really serious. So they don't think she's probably ever going to get in there again. But you never know. So I think it was her neck. If it wasn't, I'm sorry, Piper Niven, and any Piper fans. But she's got a career-threatening injury right now. The reason I mention that is because she has zero incentive to be beefing with somebody on Twitter. And she absolutely fucking lit up Jade Cargill. And it wasn't even close. It just wasn't even close, bro. And she made Jade Cargill sound out to be the biggest you-know-what in the world. And then other people start chiming in too. I mean, Chelsea Green got in on it. I think there was maybe one or two other people. But Jeremy said it was her neck. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. But my God, man, they lit this chick up. She seems like she is just hated in the back there. It's like that's what it seems. I mean, who knows what's true? Dirt sheets, Twitter, fake wrestling, who knows? I think there's when there's smoke, there's fire, and I think in this case, I think Jade Cargill has a lot of heat with people because of her attitude and her work ethic, probably in the ring.
You don't have to put a lot of imagination behind that just to see it with her behavior and how she carries herself and like stuff like that. She's one of those people that thinks she's all that and shit, which is cool. I mean, she's a new star, and obviously WWE sees something in her. I think if she was that bad, they wouldn't be pushing her to the moon like they are. But like you said, there's got to be something to the story. There's got to be something that happened where she was a little too stiff or something like that, or maybe all this success has gone to her head. I don't know, but she looks like that type of person, that would have an ego.
I gotta say, she has one of the most outstanding looks that I've ever seen for a professional female wrestler. She really does, man. She is your prototype to me, that if you were to build an almost perfect character for a women's wrestler on looks alone, just looks here, and their body and how they take care of themselves, their gimmick, what they're doing, Jade Cargill like tops the cake on the aesthetic of it. But then you get into
could you imagine her versus China?
It would be horrendous. It would be terrible, but it would be a great spectacle.
Be a great spectacle. And then who was the girl that won Tough Enough? Not Miss Jackie.
Linda Miles.
Linda Miles.
Yeah, the girl that they tagged with the Bashams at that point as
the dominatrix. Yeah, Linda Miles versus her would be interesting because they look similar. And I'm not saying that because they're black.
I knew he was gonna do it. I knew it.
Motherfuckers in the crowd.
I knew this motherfucker was gonna say this right here when you said China and the look and blah blah blah. I was biting my tongue while you were getting your point across. I mean, to interrupt you at the end, and I knew this motherfucker was gonna mention Nicole Bass.
Nicole Bass.
I knew he would, bro.
It's funny you mentioned that, dude, because I watched Raw the other night with a Nicole Bass moment on it, and I popped so fucking hard.
Anytime I hear or see a Nicole Bass thing come up, the fucking first person I think of is Rewind, bro.
I pictured Rewind just wanting to drink her bath water,
I knew he was gonna do that when you mentioned China in the match.
Christ.
I fucking knew he was gonna do it, man.
Triple threat match. Yeah.
I couldn't get it out fast enough for him. He's been just any opportunity he has to put Nicole Bass over, he does it.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that about the Iconics going over there, Rand. I saw that about them. Yeah. Hopefully they have a good run over there.
I loved the Iconics when they were in the WWE.
Oh, I've never been a huge fan in any way. I mean, they're funny and a little bit, but they get annoying real fast.
Yeah.
To me. They're okay. Think of it at this moment. Hold on. Drinking the goddess Nicole Bass's bathwater would be every man's wet dream.
I guess that's a literal metaphor, huh? Good God.
Jesus.
Rewind's like, I brought my Slurpee bendy straw.
I want to savor in the taste.
Yeah.
He eventually gets this fuck it because it's so good. After a while, he just jumps in head first and just starts trying to suck out the whole tub of it, man.
You know, I'm really thirsty, but this looks pretty fucked up now.
All right, going back to Jade. Think of this. At the moment, Jade has a title match at WrestleMania, but Charlotte Flair doesn't have a match. Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah. I don't think that's happened in a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, unless they find a way to weasel Charlotte into some type of match, I don't think we might get her on there. Listen, Jade Cargill's run has been terrible. She's had 5 matches and 1 title defense. I thought it was 0 this weekend. I looked it up. It was 1 title defense that she's had since she's had the belt. Nobody gives a shit about her. Obviously, people in the back don't seem to like her. If these pieces are true. God, what did I see? Can you imagine drinking the delicious bath?
Oh, my God.
You have to pick a cereal spoon. This fucking guy, man. Is
all right. That's all, folks. What the fuck did I just read?
What a fucking guy, man. Does everyone want Cody versus Randy? None of the horsewomen are at WrestleMania this year. Yeah.
What in the fuck?
Holy Lord. Does everyone want Cody versus Randy, Randy versus Drew, or a 3-way? Oh, man. You know, something's gotta happen here because I don't know if they're going to go a 3-way with these guys right now. Do you think they're going to? Or you think they're going a different route, maybe where they put Cody Rhodes in there with somebody else?
I'm thinking Cody wins against fucking Drew, and it ends up being Cody versus Randy. Listen, Drew McIntyre is great, you know, and he's funny, and he can be a great heel and all this stuff. I wanted them to do the slow burn, but it looks like they're going to pull the trigger on this. So I'm thinking it's going to be Randy versus Cody, and God knows what they're going to do with Drew McIntyre. At this point, WWE is so bipolar with their booking. It wouldn't surprise me if, you know, Road Dogg or some fucking jackwagon in the back was like, I got an idea. Let's take the title off of Drew McIntyre and have Randy versus Cody now.
Fuck Drew McIntyre. We'll just give him Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what I think they're probably going to do is and I'd rather have a singles match with Randy and Cody, but they're going to have somebody that's going to cost Drew the match here in some way. It's going to set up a feud, I think, with Drew and them at WrestleMania. It's going to be a good name, hopefully. And then I think they go with Randy and Cody. So that's what I would do with the way that they booked it. But I think that's the route they might go. Who that person might be for Drew, I don't know. You know, I really don't have any idea of who it might be. I mean, they've already done the Sami Zayn shit.
Isn't it really weird that both general managers have been spoken about, like Drew versus Nick Aldis, Seth versus fucking Adam Pearce? Like, it's really weird that they're trying to draw them into the mix.
You mentioned a great point with all this. He's probably, when I think about it now, I remember the other day I was kind of contemplating this when I was thinking about topics for tonight. And then Aldis hit, and they're showing all the signs of it now because Aldis just gave, you know, they've been beefing back and forth forever. Aldis gives Cody this match on SmackDown this week. It's got to be the route that they're going to go with getting Aldis in the ring with them, I think, and giving them a singles match. Yeah, Jeremy says the same
versus Aldis.
Yeah, Drew versus Aldis.
Drew versus Aldis.
Yeah, because they've been just beefing on SmackDown for just endless amounts of time now. And
Y2J costing Drew McIntyre a match. That would be something I would get behind.
Okay.
That would be cool. I don't think it's going to happen, but that would be cool. I don't think we get Jericho. I don't think we get Jericho till after Mania.
Do you like the Nick Aldis route with Drew?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. You know, I would rather see Nick Aldis versus Cody because of the story between, you know, they were the first match at All In, and then now they can do that. But, you know, does WWE really want to tie that into their fucking storylines? I doubt it, you know?
Yeah. I think it's got to be with Aldis and Drew, though. I mean, they've just been setting it up forever. Listen, Aldis didn't retire because of injuries or anything like that. They offered him an on-camera role as like the general manager, and that was what was offered to him. I was kind of surprised they didn't want to put him in the wrestling side, but I think he was kind of more content at that point of his career. You know, he had been a huge name, of course, very huge name. Yeah, it wasn't in WWE, but it was everywhere else. And I think he was kind of content with his career at that point. At the end, he had that messy breakup with Billy Corgan, and I think he just wanted some good stability and maybe wanted a break for a while. But I think he would be able to get right back in the ring like it was nothing. He was a great worker when he was in there. He's in tremendous shape always. He looks like $1 million. He talks like $1 million. Him and Drew could be a really fun match for WrestleMania for them.
Yeah, you know, that was my next question is, so what happens with Jacob Fatu?
I don't know. That's the thing. I think he's kind of been forgotten about again.
And what happens to LA Knight, you know?
I don't know what they're going to do with him either. You know, he was on taking out Paul Heyman in the Vision on Monday. Maybe they're going to put him in with Austin Theory or some shit. You know,
oh my God, I know. Please no.
I know, but they were having him fight against the Vision on Monday, driving the ambulance. So I don't know. You know, I mean, some people are going to be left off, and I think Jacob Fatu is the guy that's going to get left off this year, probably. I just don't think
he's crazy because they have 2 fucking nights. You would think that they would be able to fit it.
I know, but it's like they get set on a few storylines and they just continuously work on them. The small ones they pay no attention to. Yeah. You know, they pay no attention to that shit at all. So I don't know. I think that's where they probably go. I like the idea of a street fight with them at Mania, Rand. But my thing is with Cody and Randy right now, and to set something up like that is, they don't have the bad blood or anything right now, and they're not going to have enough time between now and WrestleMania to build it up. I don't think to get to.
They're stirring the spoon of the hate now. You know, you can definitely tell that. But I want it to be, the student trying to prove that he's finally better than the master. That's what I want to see.
And then when he wins, just end it.
See, that's the thing is, I wanted them to tell a great story all through next year. I think they could have done that.
It's why I don't want to see it rushed right now, even though it's the route they're going to do. I want to see this match. I just don't want to see it rushed. I want to see this thing built up for a good 6-7 months, probably. Have them both stay in the roles that they're at. Whoever you're going to turn heel, which to me, probably in this case, if it was me, I know Randy's a great heel, but I think if you want to flip it around a little bit, I'd kind of like to see a heel Cody working with a baby.
I would love to see a heel Cody, but I don't think we're gonna.
I don't think they'll have the balls to do it either. That's the way I would do it to make it a
little different.
Yeah, absolutely. But they could make him a heel. He could do it. You know, he's a great heel, and so do I.
Sure, absolutely. I think he's a better heel than he is a babyface.
Yeah, he could do it. That's what I would do. Cody heel, Randy babyface, flip it around on him. What they're going to do is different when they go that route. I'm sure if they made it a really bloody feud between these guys, built it up even longer, built it up long, Randy would be the heel because he's a tremendous heel for sure. But
LA I don't like Knight versus Brock Lesnar at Mania, Rand. I don't know about that.
Rand was talking about that Elimination Chamber. He wants to see this match.
It's gonna be Obafemi versus Brock.
Yeah, definitely gonna be him for sure.
Yeah, see, I think Randy versus Drew is a good match. You have Randy win, and then you have Cody chasing him the rest of the year, you know, till next Mania.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I don't mind that at all either. I think that's good. Yeah. Randy and Cody, 6 weeks to build this. Yeah, they're gonna have a fun match. It needs way longer. The story's too long.
The story is too long to do that.
Yeah, and I hate when people rush something that could be really good. That's where you could take something special that it could potentially be, and you could ruin it by not getting
I think you have Randy be champion all year, just unstoppable run, and then you get to War Games next year, and you have Cody screw him in War Games.
Love it. Something to start it, you know? Something to start it. Make it a brutal fucking attack if you're going to do it somehow. Take him out for a good while.
Yep.
It'll work.
Or you have Cody, or you have Oba versus Rusev, yeah.
No thanks.
You know what? I'm gonna be real with you. I was actually excited for that match, Oba versus Rusev, but
No
because
thanks.
I like Rusev a lot, but where was I going with that? You know, you could have Cody win the secondary title over there, the United States title, and you have Randy say, you know, you've always played second fiddle to me or something like that, and just there's little ways you could stir the fucking pot with this story all year long, and then you have Randy screw Cody over, accidentally have him cost him his United States championship. So now Cody's got something to prove, and then you know, come War Games, you have Cody get pissed off and say, "Okay, I'm going to get my revenge now," and you screw Randy in the ring.
I love all these ideas.
Yeah.
It all comes back to make it a slow build. Don't rush it. You know, don't just throw it together because you don't think you got anything else right now. You know, great. That's a great idea. Have Baby Taz put LA Knight in his place and then send it back to TNA. Great idea. Fucking rewind. He's like the Jelly of the Month Club, man. He's the gift that keeps on giving.
Absolutely.
Main event tonight, we're going to talk about CM Punk and Roman Reigns. But before we take a break and get to the main event tonight, wrestling this year for me, for WrestleMania, I have to say, it's just not doing it for me right now, bro. You know? And what about you guys? Are they building it up enough for you right now? Is this stuff we're talking about enticing enough? For me, it's not. It's not getting me there all the way right now. What about you?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I think there's a lot of moving pieces right now. A lot of injuries affected their long-term slow build game plans that they had in place. Punk was definitely supposed to win his title at Mania, so we got that ruined, unfortunately. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the real setup is they know that they're phoning it in this year. Next year is where they're going to put all the stops out because it's going in the Saudi Arabian government area. And it's being reported that The Rock is getting a record amount of money that any wrestler has been paid for a single appearance to be on next year's Mania in Saudi. So, you know, do we get Cody Rhodes versus The Rock next year? Are they trying to position him for that? I don't know. I don't know who they would bring. You got to do Rock versus Roman at some point, I guess, you know? So I'm thinking they're going to phone it in this year probably for Mania, and next year they're going to throw all the stops out. So,
I mean, it doesn't mean that they're not going to have a great show either. It's just the angles that they're building up this year aren't as appetizing and as enticing as they have been in years prior, you know. But we still got plenty of time to go. We got about 6 weeks or so. So let's see where they go before we get all doom and gloom on it. But right now, it's not all the way doing it for me right now. Last thing though. Awesome to see. Hall of Fame 2026. We played them to start the show. The Axe and the Smasher, Demolition's going in the Hall of Fame. Well overdue for these guys. And I know it was due to the lawsuit that they had against Vince years ago with the concussion stuff and royalty shit. But these guys should have been in ages ago, and they couldn't get, you know, an agreement together. There was all the bad blood. I'm so glad that Demolition's going in. One of my favorite tag teams in the 90s. As a kid, they were my first favorite tag team probably of all time, you know, for me. My favorite all-time tag teams, the LOD, the Road Warriors, Legion of Doom. But what got me loving tag team wrestling, I loved Demolition as a kid. I think my first wrestling T-shirt other than Hulk Hogan was Demolition, actually. And nice. I know that people call them the poor, you know, the Road Warriors rip-off and all that horse shit. You know, it's whatever. I get where you're coming from. Demolition, no matter how you slice or dice it, was an awesome tag team when they were together. Awesome theme song, awesome career, big icons of the 90s in WWE. Glad to see him go in. What about you? You a Demolition fan?
Yeah, I mean, well deserved. You know, they this is long overdue. If Michelle fucking McCool can get in there, then why the fuck haven't these guys been in? You know, so you know, they redefined tag team wrestling together. You know, the LOD, Axe and Smash, all these different tag teams are a big part of that. And I love tag team wrestling, you know. Yeah. How could you not put these guys in? You know, it was a head scratcher. I mean, it makes sense with the lawsuit and stuff, but you know, if Bret Hart can get in there, if there's different people that have had way worse blood, like the Ultimate Warrior and stuff, it doesn't make sense why you would keep these guys out. So, you know, well deserved. And man, what a moment that's going to be to see them on stage, because that's long overdue.
I gotta say, in fairness, though, too, when you look at Demolition, the WWE strained relationship, everybody always points the finger at WWE for not putting them in because of their bad blood and shit. I think Demolition was just as much to blame for a lot of the problems over the years with WWE as WWE was for not putting them in, because they created a lot of bullshit for them for a while and had a lot of lawsuits with them. Bill Eadie had a real bad history with them, and Vince, and money issues. And then they were about to go in and told WWE that the only way they're going in is if they pay them $100,000 each. There was a really contentious back and forth for years. So I think this is works both sides here. Works both ways. I think WWE maybe takes a little bit of unfair hit on that for not putting them in, because
they're gonna get a Legends contract, which is gonna mean a lot.
They already did last year.
Yeah, so there you go. And one question though about the Hall of Fame: do you think Hillbilly Jim is still giving his speech?
Oh, 1,000%. Him and Mr. T are battling for the Guinness Book World of Records of who can keep going on.
How many times do you think Larry Zbyszko is going to say "Welcome to Larryland" in his fucking speech over and over and over again? I just pray to God it's not that stale this year.
Those are three of the reasons why they put time limits on the Hall of Fame, because it was turning into these 6-7 hour long affairs, and then there would be pictures of people in the crowd.
Hillbilly Jim's was probably the worst I've ever heard.
Him and Mr. T's to me are pretty much right the same. They were just fucking horrible.
Kid Rock's was funny. He just came out and was like, "Hey, thanks. All right, see you later."
See, they probably made a lot of people happy at that point, because people like hearing it for a few minutes, but it just gets too fucking long sometimes.
Right.
Joey says Demolition was railroaded by WWF because LOD didn't want any other face-painted tag teams. Gotcha. They need to put Sid and Sabu in the Hall of Fame this year. I'd be for that.
They do.
If Heat's still going hot and SA backup is Chicago for WrestleMania and Saudi. Or they could go to New Orleans again, too, if they wanted to.
They need to go to New Orleans. My opinion, New Orleans got fucked out of it this year.
And they always have a great crowd, too, and have a hell of a turnout.
Yeah, they do. And the stages have always been badass.
Yeah, it was very surprising to me that they shuffled. Saudi must have just offered them too much money they couldn't have passed up.
But it was supposed to be in New Orleans this year.
Oh, yeah, that was this. I'm not Saudi, you're right. They gave it Las Vegas 2 years in a row. And absolutely nobody except for them was jumping up and down to do it in Vegas again. Let's be realistic. One thing about Vegas that I can say after being there now and spend some time with you there, it's an amazing city. Absolutely love it. It's addicting to go to if you like having fun. I could totally live there. But I got to say this, parking fucking sucks there.
Parking is the worst. We literally, we probably moved the rental car twice?
Maybe 3 times.
Maybe 3 times?
No, we didn't even move it. We drove from the airport.
We didn't even move it. We walked everywhere.
Yeah, 2 times we did, because we got when you picked me up and we went back to the hotel, and then on the way out and when you dropped me off. That was the only 2 times we used the damn thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the main reason for a lot of that, in my opinion, Las Vegas has absolutely no fucking parking, and if you go near the Allegiant Stadium, it's got to be a bitch for people to get in and out of.
And that's a big stadium.
Huge, and it looks like it's a bitch in regards to, just the logistics of it for people that want to go see it.
Rand, I don't think Hawaii could pull off the infrastructure and all the stuff that they would need. It's too expensive, and I don't think people would go.
Their big stadium's gone too, Rand. It's not gone. It's actually still sits there. Hawaii is one of my favorite places in the world, and in Oahu, in Hawaii, where they have the old huge stadium where they used to have the NFL Pro Bowl, I think it was called the Aloha Stadium. The thing is just used as a flea market now, and the stuff's still sitting. It's rotted to the core. The reason they can't use it anymore is because of the infrastructure, and Hawaii could not afford to fix it. So I can never see them doing one with Hawaii. It would be too expensive. So Daryl's here. Hi, Daryl. Oh, Charlie wanted to come say hi to everybody.
Charlie's here. There's the cook boy, Charlie.
There's Charlie.
Oh, what's up, Twinkie?
Twinkie's here. Hey, Charlie, man. Say hi to everybody.
Look at his eyes. What a good dog. He's like, what the fuck is this shit?
Nah, he knows. He's excited. He barged in because my son just came home. But I don't know. It's New Orleans really got fucked. I'll say that. They really got fucked in the process. But it's going to be fun to see over the next couple of years where they might go. I'm going to say this. I don't think I'm ever going to go to WrestleMania because there's no way in fuck unless I'm just filthy rich that I'm paying those prices, bro.
No.
Yeah.
I don't sit in nosebleed seats, so if I go, it's going to be the cost of like 3 vacations. So
yeah.
Fuck that.
And there's no way, no matter what, unless I'm loaded and you're loaded and we're all loaded, that I don't think any of us would do that in our right
I
mind.
would do it under a Vince McMahon umbrella. I would
You'd
not
make it
do
affordable.
I would not do it under Nick Khan.
They've never done a UFC in Hawaii yet, Rich?
Yeah, they have.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard. I don't remember, but yeah, have they been there more than once?
I don't think they've been there more than once, but I'm pretty sure Holloway's fought in Hawaii. Let me see.
The other plan is WrestleMania 2, like in 3 places. Oh, please! I hope they don't do that, Rand. that sucked when they did it in WrestleMania 2, and it'll suck if they do it again.
Oh, you're right. They haven't.
Okay, he's right. I wonder why UFC's never tried it before. There's a big fight.
They are trying to do one, and Max Holloway just did an interview about it. They're trying to get it done.
Winnipeg, Matt Rand. He said one part in New Orleans, then Chicago, and Winnipeg. Why would anybody want to do a pay-per-view in Winnipeg? Is it like a big stadium there, Rand, or something? Is Winnipeg a big hotbed for it? I don't really know. I would never think Winnipeg. I don't even think they really go there for Raw anymore, probably. The worst WrestleMania.
We had a great WrestleMania out here. That was The Undertaker versus Shawn the first time.
Yeah, that was what, 23 or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, just to be able to go is awesome. And getting to see those two take each other on in a match is phenomenal.
Yep.
But maybe one day, if we get to be super loaded and wealthy, we can go down and get some seats.
Yeah, for sure.
Why the fuck did they do a WrestleMania in Seattle? That was a weird one. It was kind of a cool stadium, though, that the look of it in Seattle years ago. What was that, WrestleMania 19, I think?
Yeah. Yep.
Or 18. Yeah, 19. Yeah. Very odd, to bring it out there, but I thought it was a really cool look in the stadium. I think Seattle's got a really, really cool, it's a really cool area, but you live out there closer than I do, Rewind. That's your side of the world, so you know that better than I do. But I don't know. I've never heard them want to go back to Seattle again or anything like that. So they go where the money's at. That's for sure, right?
Yeah, for sure, man. They're definitely not doing it in Tupelo, Mississippi.
No, or fucking Paducah, Kansas, or any of that shit, man. They're not going and they're not even doing house shows.
I can't ever get that out of my head with Kevin Nash saying that. Tupelo, Mississippi.
Just typical Kevin being cool.
Yeah.
Just fucking Kevin, man. All right, guys. Well, let's take a 5-10 minute break. And when we come back, we're going to hit the main event. Main event's going to be Punk and Reigns. We're going to talk about their stuff from Monday, the feud that's going on. Could these guys be the ones to maybe help this product that's just really taking a nosedive right now? Let's see. We'll want to hear your thoughts after, too. So come on back. We'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll see you guys then. All right, everybody, we're back from the break. Hope everybody is rested up and refreshed. Let's get into the main event topic for tonight, though. It's going to be CM Punk, Roman Reigns. Can they save the booking of WWE that it's been the last few months? Can they make this a really interesting card, a really interesting match? Can they steal the show at WrestleMania? Let's hear your thoughts when we get into this. But first off, these two delivered on Monday night in that promo. I thought it was fan-fucking-tastic, those two going at each other. What did you think of the promo on Monday night between these two?
Yeah, it got really dark and really personal. They were, they've been putting this story together for years and years. Seth Rollins bringing in the Shield, CM Punk bringing in the Shield. He was responsible for it and all that kind of stuff. And then, I loved how Chris Hero was supposed to be the original person that was supposed to be in Roman Reigns' spot. And then they took Chris Hero out, put Roman Reigns in before they started the Shield. So it's kind of interesting how they tied that all into it and peeled the curtain back a little bit. I loved it. My other favorite part, obviously, was where they took it they took it a step too far. And you almost don't know, based off the reaction of Roman Reigns, if he knew this was coming. But, when he kind of when Punk took the Christian route and basically said, you're going to be dead like your father, buried like your father, or next to your father. God, any man thinking of that, another man saying that to you, God, that struck a chord, And so, my opinion, I think they're doing a great job selling it. I think they're doing a great job tying all the loose ends together in this story, and they're doing something really special, and it's going to be great. The only downside to it is, and that was the other part of the promo I loved, is CM Punk basically saying, I'm going to have to carry this because you're never fucking here. And it sucks that Roman Reigns isn't there. It sucks that he's not active in the ring. I would like to see him get a few warm-up matches before they do their match. So, unfortunately, we're not going to get that, and Roman Reigns is the part-timer now. He's the A-side.
I think he's still going to deliver, though.
He'll deliver. I just want to see more of him.
I agree. I'd like,
even if it's in a tag team fashion, I wouldn't care. I just want to see him get in there before Mania.
I can't think in my mind that Roman didn't know what he was going to say about his dad. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. But when you go that personal on somebody like that, you got to think they got to tell them beforehand, because, storyline or not, when you say something like that, it's definitely an infuriating thing. So I can't imagine them doing it to him without him knowing, he had to have. If they didn't, man.
It's CM Punk.
Yeah, true. I mean, good point. If they didn't, I say hats off to them for pulling something controversial, because let's be realistic. Christian proved that you can, in AEW, that you can do that type of shit, get away with it, and get the best heat possible and have a tremendous gimmick for yourself.
That reaction was pretty raw. And, when John Cena and The Rock were doing their promos and John Cena went off the cuff and went off the script and basically called The Rock out for writing his promos on his wrist, you could see that initial reaction of The Rock, like, oh, you just stepped over the line there, buddy. Like, you could see it in his face. I got the same reaction and the same tone from Roman Reigns when he did this. And I don't think that's from acting. Something in me tells me that CM Punk went off the script on this one to try to get him, a little bit more into it. And he did a good job.
Now, as corny as this might sound to throw this out there, but to me, if I'm going to do a rebuttal, if I'm going to be Roman Reigns and I'm going to do a rebuttal to what
he's got to bring up Larry.
Got it, bro. I know it sounds stupid to say about a dog, bro, but Larry was like his child. He loved him more than anything. Larry had his own, gimmick basically for him. People loved Larry. Larry was talked about in the infamous fight backstage that Larry got involved in the fight backstage with them or some shit, or he got hit accidentally. You got to go the Larry route, man. You really got to do it.
It would be pretty funny.
It would. It'd be a great way to throw it back at him. I don't know how they would, line that up to make it not just sound, dumb as fuck. But I think you're going to get a rebuttal about Larry coming up over the next.
He's got to say something about your goddamn dead dog or something.
Yeah. Nobody gives a fuck about that ugly dead dog ears.
Oh, dude, if he calls him ugly, fuck.
Yeah. Bro, I will pop so huge if Roman goes and takes the Larry route like that, man. That shit would be tremendous.
Yeah.
You know. But I think they'll push it with each other because let's be realistic. They're main eventers, both of them. You're getting
That's what draws money is when you do shit like that.
And then when you make people believe that there's this real awful heat between them, you know, it works. When you have real life animosity, or you have this illusion at least of real life animosity, it works way better than when you're just doing it on a storyline. Yeah, a storyline can work and be great.
I think there is real animosity too, because let's be honest, when CM Punk pitched the Shield, Chris Hero was supposed to be where Roman Reigns is.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep. Rewind says a good point here. You make it personal, and you bring up how you fucked your wife's idol before you met her. You were fucking with Lita, and AJ was getting her autograph.
If you bring that up, that's going to be interesting.
He was a notorious playboy backstage.
Yeah, he was.
You know,
what's up, Laza?
Good day, mate. Great to see you from Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. There's a lot of ways that they can go to make this really fucking personal. And to me, I'm all for it. As long as there's a good payoff to this, which I think there will be, this is the stuff that will make me want to watch the show, is to see these two go at it back and forth.
This is the edgier content that we've all been waiting for. This is the slow burn stories that we've been waiting for. And they're doing it really well.
Yeah, absolutely. This is how you correct stupid mistakes that you've been making and shitty programming, is by giving us several of these really compelling storylines that they could potentially come out with this. This is how you turn it around.
Yeah. Now you start doing it, you know, consistently and stuff like that. Now, I don't want to see Seth Rollins get fucking involved in this match. I want it to be strictly CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to see anybody fucking interfere or anything like that. I just want to see these two guys go out there and tear the fucking house down and try to prove who's the better man. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see the Usos get involved or any of that shit.
You think this is the day two of WrestleMania closer, or day one?
I think it's day two. I think they're gonna, because let's be honest, they're making everything about Punk.
Yeah.
The video game, he was the cover athlete. The story in the video game is about him. Everything they're doing this year is about Punk's. AJ Lee's return. They gave her flowers, let her win the IC title. So I think that it's going to be night 2. He'll be the main event, and they'll close out the show. It just sucks because this was totally meant to be Seth Rollins versus Punk, you know, and when they couldn't have that, they had to go the other way and do Rollins versus Reigns, Punk versus Reigns, which in my opinion, even in the short time that they've told the story, is better than anything they did with Rollins and Punk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think it shows, that's what shows the differences between superstars and guys that they put out there that are main eventers. Superstars and main eventers are different. Seth's a main eventer for them. He's not a superstar to me. Superstar is Roman Reigns. Superstar is Phil Brooks. Those are the superstars right there. John Cena. Even Cody Rhodes now to me is a superstar that you can put him up on that level. Seth to me is never going to be there. So this has definitely got to be the closer to me. You know, to me, I don't see any other way other than this being the closing match for WrestleMania Night 2. So Punk's kind of tainted WrestleMania main event last year, and I'm only saying tainted because it was night 1. You give him right off the bat, if you do it night 2 this year, you give him his career highlight right there. You know, he's headlining the main event of WrestleMania, and everybody knows now with the 2 nights, day 2 is the real main event.
Yeah, for sure. Jeremy, to answer your question real quick, which moment affected you more? HBK, I'm sorry, I love you to Flair, Edge retirement, Undertaker streak ending, or Roman announcing he has leukemia? For me personally, the Ric Flair HBK moment was pretty powerful, and the Undertaker streak, I think those two for me were moments that I never thought I'd see as a wrestling fan. I never thought Ric Flair would retire. I thought he would die before he retired. And I never thought that the Undertaker streak was going to end. So both of those are pretty equal for me.
I think Undertaker's streak has to both be like probably one of if not the most shocking moment in wrestling history. Like when you have a crowd of
He went over like a fart in church, dude.
Yeah. And when you have a crowd of 90,000 people just go deathly quiet, like that's when you know it's a powerful moment with what happened. And when he lost that streak, probably was one of the biggest things they've ever done, if not the biggest at WrestleMania, was having him lose that. Might be one of the most shocking moments of all time. But if I was looking at affected, like you said, I got to go with Flair's. I'm sorry, I love you right there.
That was the best send off in professional wrestling. The storybook ending, and Flair just pissed and shit all over it. And I did, it's bad.
Yep. Yeah. I'm not a Flair mark either. I always admit that I've never been a Flair mark, and I'm not a huge Shawn Michaels mark in any way. I respect both their accomplishments, and they're both legends of the ring for sure. They're just not my all-time favorites or anything like that. But that moment, man, wow. What a fucking awesome moment. And the emotion on it, Flair bawling his eyes out at the end, Shawn crying and hugging him and saying something to him, And
I'm going to be honest with you. The Stone Cold and The Rock moment at Mania was more powerful to me when they were saying, I love you in the ring. That hit me more than the Ric Flair moment.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. That's your love of Stone Cold, you think, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. 100%. Good moments, though. I mean, Roman leukemia was terrible to hear, too. Anytime somebody retires like Edge did or anybody else because of an injury, it's just awful to see, too. All tough moments, heart-wrenching moments, in wrestling history. Why are we talking about Mania when Revolution is next weekend? What the fuck? Who's on Revolution?
Fuck.
Who's on that, man? I have no... I don't even know who their champ is right now. Is it MJF?
Probably MJF. Okay. Hopefully.
I wasn't watching wrestling at all this time when Taker lost his streak. I ordered SummerSlam to watch the rematch against Baby Taz. That brought old wrestling fans back and casuals in.
Yep, for sure.
Taz brings all the casuals. Yeah, Taz brings all the casuals back in. Baby Taz brings even more of the casuals back out. They know old school wrestling with the Hookmeister for sure.
Yep.
I'm really excited to see where they go with Roman and CM Punk. I think it's going to be a really, really fun match, and I think it could steal the show for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. As long as they stick to just them two, I don't want it to be this fucking bloodline rule shit again. We've been down that road with Cody Rhodes. Like, I don't want to see that. I want them to both just go at it. No disqualifications, none of that shit. It's got to be a straight up match and to prove who the better man is. I'm going to be honest with you and go out on a limb. I think that CM Punk is going to obviously go over. I don't think Roman Reigns is sticking around for a while. So
he's a part-timer now, and it might be the end of the road for him in regards to holding the belt. Maybe he does it again. I don't know, but I kind of agree with you on this one. I think CM Punk might have to go over in this one.
Yep.
Especially if Roman's not going to be around that much. If CM Punk's going to be
I don't want another part-time champion.
No, not at all. I agree. It's interesting when you look at this, like with Cody and Punk. Cody and Punk have been pushed to the moon since they came back and had real serious issues of heat, with people in the back there, WWE, the horrible lawsuit with Punk and them and all the things that went on, the shit talking back and forth, Cody leaving, starting AEW, slamming the throne, taking every chance he could to knock them, do things to try to draw people into AEW by kind of bashing WWE a little bit. WWE welcomed them both back with open arms, made them both bigger stars than ever, and they've been the focal point of WWE programming. Cody for the last 4 years, I think now, and then Punk since he's been back in the last 2.5 years. I know he was injured for a little bit, 2.5, 3 years, whatever he's been back. They obviously can show that there's no hard feelings because these guys did not get buried at all. So kudos to Triple H and WWE for that, because Punk's the biggest part of probably night 2 this year, and Cody's probably the biggest part of night 1 again, and has been the biggest part of WrestleMania, the main events for the last 3 years, even before that. Pretty astounding to think that this WWE actually welcomes them back. Vince wouldn't have been as generous, I don't think.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say if it was under Vince's rule, I don't think he would have treated them with the same respect. So,
Yeah, I've been drinking. Pardon the revolution hype.
Jesus, man, it's on a Wednesday.
Money talks, bullshit walks. Punk and Cody are both big ass draws. Yep.
Yeah.
When the money's coming in, they're going to want to sell. And same thing with Roman. Roman's going to be in there anytime they can throw him in there, part-time or full-time or whatever. He puts asses in the seats. He sells a shit ton of merch. The crowd loves him. It's the most compelling thing is money and what it draws for them. They're a business. These guys are going to make them a lot of money. They're going to push them to the moon no matter what.
Absolutely.
Joey says on vacation.
Oh, nice. Good.
Well, let's see where they go. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to kind of discuss this part of it. Hopefully it draws both of our interests more into WrestleMania because as we both mentioned before the break, it's just not really doing it too much for us both right now. And this could be something that could be really good for them. Steel cage, you think, between them, Rand? I'd be for a steel cage if they did it. I don't know if there's a need for it, but
I don't think there's a need for any gimmicky match in this.
If there was like outside interference, I could see like a steel cage just for the sake of having one. I mean, it would be a fun, cool thing to see. I love cage matches.
I fucking hope Roman Reigns makes fun of him for his UFC shit.
It's got to come up. It's got to come up, bro.
While I was winning titles, you were looking like a punk bitch in UFC or something, dude. He's got to say something.
You were getting knocked out by a guy that was 0-1.
Yep.
Like these two have so much potential to make some great pipe bombs. And Punk loves to throw the pipe bombs out. And
he does.
Roman's never been afraid of it either. And these two can get away with it because they're megastars for sure. So they can get away with it. But my final question outside of Raw and modern topics this week is I was listening to some good tunes today. I was doing a bunch of work and I put some music on. I throw YouTube on a little bit. And then I got to say, musically, one of my favorite guitarists of all time is Stevie Ray Vaughan, for sure. Just, if you've never heard Stevie Ray Vaughan, do yourself a fucking favor and go listen to this guy. He's absolutely amazing. And one of my other favorites is Jimi Hendrix. I absolutely love Jimi Hendrix. And the reason I grew to love Jimi Hendrix as a kid was because of Hulk Hogan with coming out to Voodoo Child. And I always say this, the two greatest themes probably in wrestling history, 1 and 2, got to be Real American to me. And number 2 has got to be Voodoo Child. And it's not just because it's Hulk Hogan. They're just iconic.
It is. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, Real American, Voodoo Child are the best for sure. And both of them go to the Hulkster. So maybe you guys disagree. I don't know. I know we've done themes on here before. But, man, Stevie Ray Vaughan, if you've never listened to him, is just phenomenal. And I'm listening to some tunes today. And Jimi Hendrix is on. I'm listening to some Hendrix for a little bit. Voodoo Child hits. Boom, man. Rocking out to Voodoo Child. Love it. One of my favorite songs ever. And then, of course, I've heard this a million times in the past, but I just stumble across it as I'm looking because of the algorithm. And then I just listen. It's been the first time in a while to Stevie Ray Vaughan doing his rendition of Voodoo Child. So I want to pose this question to you and all the other wrestling fans and throw this out here tonight. Who plays it better? What do you like better for Voodoo Child, Richie? And you guys two throw it out there.
Hands down, Stevie Ray Vaughan plays it better. Stevie Ray Vaughan plays it better, no doubt. That's my favorite rendition of it. I'm biased because that's my dad's favorite guitarist, and it's my favorite guitarist. And I just think he does a better job. He's got more of a blues sound to him, and I think I like that and prefer that more. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not sure how you guys feel about it. Jimi Hendrix is amazing. I love Foxy Lady, love All Along the Watchtower. Those are some great, incredible songs. But when it comes to Voodoo Child, man, I got to go Stevie Ray Vaughan.
All right. Rewind's going with Jimi Hendrix. Jeremy's going with Jimi Hendrix too. Anybody else chime in? Let us know your thoughts on which is better, Jimmy's or Stevie Ray Vaughan's Voodoo Child. Rich, I got to go with you all day. I'm going to go against Rewind and Jeremy here, and I got to go with Stevie Ray Vaughan's version of it. Listen to it. And this is not a slight on
especially the opening.
Oh, my God, yes. It's like 2 minutes straight he goes for.
Yeah.
And just the way that he plays it differently, and like you said, it's in a real bluesy way, just how he does it. His voice is phenomenal, too.
Yeah, it is.
And trust me, this is no slight on Jimi Hendrix whatsoever.
Yeah.
Jimmy,
the dude learned how to play a guitar with an upside-down fucking guitar. I mean,
and hit those notes upside down.
Yeah.
Insane. Oh, absolutely. His version of the national
anthem.
Go
listen to Prince play the fucking national anthem. Holy shit.
Prince is phenomenal, man.
God.
Are you a Prince fan?
Oh, fuck. That dude, you want to talk about a guitarist. That guy shreds like a motherfucker with his solos and shit.
Yeah. Probably one of the best halftime shows of all time was Prince too.
Yeah. Yep.
Dude was fucking talented.
I got to put Ted Nugent up there in guitarist for me personally as well. Oh my God, Ted Nugent! It is a crime. I don't give a shit where you are on the political spectrum. It is a crime that Ted Nugent is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I don't know how, and I don't like Ted Nugent as a person. I don't really align with a lot of his stuff. Some of it I do, some of it I don't. I think he's a lunatic. The dude's one of the greatest guitar players ever, too.
Yep.
Listen to him play Stranglehold for almost 9 minutes straight. I mean, just insane. Stevie Ray Vaughan's version, though, to me, I love it a little different than Jimmy's, and I know I hate to say it. Reason I asked that tonight to you guys was because of course, the Hogan reference to Voodoo Child, because it was so powerful and awesome when he came out with it. But my God, man, to me, Stevie Ray Vaughan's version, I've listened to it so many times and heard it again today, and it just hit me. That's why I wanted to hear everybody's opinion of it tonight with a little music discussion all along the Watchtower and then a movie, The Watchman. Slash is my favorite guitarist. That's a great.
Don't listen to him nowadays. Don't go live and see Slash, live nowadays. Holy shit.
Is he sloppy?
Oh my God.
Prince did a cover of Voodoo Child.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, with
I did
Tom
not
Petty,
know that. With Tom Petty too.
You got to go listen to that.
I'm going to listen to that right after we get off the air tonight for sure.
It's amazing. Prince is the most underrated guitarist, I think, dude. He is just incredible.
I have heard so many other people say that same thing too, and people who are musicians will all tell you about Prince. They'll say one of the most underappreciated guitarists ever when you listen to him play. Any musician that I've ever heard, when they talk about guitarists, Prince always comes up for probably 7 or 8 out of 10 of them. I bet if you were to ask them, he'd be in their top 5.
I'm not trying to do The Rock right now, but I got the fucking goosebumps.
Travis Barker is a great drummer.
Great drummer, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Excuse me. I did not know he covered that for Prince.
Yep.
John Mayer does a good cover of him too.
Never heard it.
Okay, check out John Mayer's version of it. Whether you're a John Mayer fan of him or not, listen to his version. John Mayer can fucking go on there too.
Do you mind if I bring up my idea that I had for a show?
Go for it.
Okay. Now, I just want to get y'all's opinion on this. I talked to John about it. Obviously, we're going to wait a little bit for obvious reasons. We're letting some things pass by. I know this stuff has already been released and come out and everything like that. But I think a new show is going to be in the mix for us coming down the line a little bit. You guys know I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist. Okay, I'm a lot of it. John is definitely looking into the stuff lately. And I think it would be cool if we did one that focused around the Epstein files, where we go over each and every single file until we're done, until there is no more. And we go over them, we give our opinions, no matter if they're the most meaningless file in the fucking group or not. I want to go through every single one and document it and go over it with you guys. And us just try to get a better understanding of this shit so we can prevent it and say we're not going to accept it as men in this country or around the world because it's a global thing, and that we're going to put it out there and expose it for what it is, and the evil and the disgusting shit that has been uncovered. It needs to be brought to light, and I think it would be a compelling show that we could do and shed some light on it and get a better understanding of what the fuck actually happened and went on. And that way you're not buying into the bullshit that people try to put on with AI and different things like that. We're seeing it live right there as we unpack it, each individual one, and until we're done, until there is no more.
I think it's a really interesting topic to look at, to break down the conspiracies, the craziness that's been in them, whether it's, like you said, stuff that maybe doesn't seem like much, or there's more when you break into it and look into it. There's a bigger payoff to it, which we can't talk about, but that we have an idea for something on it too, because there's a big payoff for it that I'm not going to say on air, just because it would take time for us to be able to make it happen, and stuff like that. But I don't know, we don't talk politics here on this show because we respect everybody's opinion, and we don't talk a lot of real world stuff like that, serious stuff, for many reasons, because it's a wrestling show, but this show is wrestling with reality. And we always say that we like to talk about real world stuff here too. So we're not sure if we're going to do it on this stream, if we're going to do it on another link. We're not sure on that yet. But when we do get into it, and we will get into it, and probably get into other things along with it too, and some different things that we might call, uncover out of this, I think it's going to be really interesting, because even though we don't talk about politics here on the show, and me and you stayed neutral on that with everybody, this is something that I think is a good thing to talk about, because these scumbags and these people that are getting away with things need to not be able to anymore.
Well, and I think collectively, it don't matter if you're stuck in the left-right paradigm still. I'm on the outside of that. I think both sides are bought by the same people. That's just my personal opinion, and I think that if you're still trapped in that, I feel sorry for you. It's just a way to divide us and conquer us, and I think that we can transcend this, and collectively all of us can get, because what better cause in the world than to protect the innocence of children, and not to mention, we as a people need to get ahead of this thing. It's just like you see it at the highest powers of our government, our people in power, these people that we propel in Hollywood, in music, and all these different things, and they get all the wealth, they get all the power, and it's not enough. They want the perversion, they want it all, and they have to do rituals and all these different things that I'll break into when we talk about it. I've got a lot of information since I was 16 years old waking up to this shit. And when I first woke up when I was 16, I thought it was all about foreign policy and war and greed. It gets much darker than that. And I'll be happy to break it down, at least what I know, for everybody, and share it with you guys. And I look forward to it, man. I think it'll be a great show. I think it'll be, interesting. I hope it draws you guys in, and you want to, I hope you guys want to be in it and listen to it, because I think it's a powerful thing. And we can't let this happen anymore. It's even happening on the lower levels. Like I told you when we first opened the show, the pastor of this church out here, that's a mega church in Arizona, is tied in with this stuff. So it's in low levels, it's in medium levels, it's in high levels, it's people that you're next to on the street. This evil has no mask. It is not one stereotypical type of person. This monster is everywhere. And I think the more we expose it, the better. And that's just my opinion.
And that's our goal from it, is to expose the bullshit that's out there and not give these people an opportunity to continue to be able to do this stuff. Not like we're some huge names that's going to make it and bring the awareness because of it. We're not saying that, but what we are saying is, as a society, we need to stand the fuck up against this stuff and say, this is wrong, man. Nobody deserves to be hurt. Nobody deserves to be treated this way. No child should ever be harmed by anybody. And we're passionate about that, and we hate that shit, and we want to get into this garbage and see what, as a society,
I want the truth. I want the truth. I don't want to hear it from CNN. I don't want to hear it from Fox News. I don't want to hear it from some politician that has some motivation. I want the real hardcore solid truth, even at the core of it, reading it and getting an understanding of it, of what actually took place. Even if it's the most meaningless files that we go over, I want to go through each one and comb through them to get the full picture. I mean, they dumped these files in no organized manner for a reason. They wanted us to get caught up in all this shit and drowned in it, just like they did with the JFK files, just like they did with all these other stuff that they come out with. They just dump it on you in no organized fashion, and you have to comb through it. So I think it's important, and it's our duty as people of this earth and this country to do so, and to get a better understanding, because it's like being a crab in a pot, man. They turn up that heat slowly but surely. You're cooked after a while, and you don't even realize it. And I think our society has become polluted and sick by these people that are heavily influential in our lives, through the TV, which is their biggest weapon they have. And I think it's now or never. Either we're going to go down the right path of history and be on the right side of things and stand up for our children, which, for civilizations back to the ancient times have been sacrificed to the sun god and all these different things. We're done with that. We're going to be the generation that says we're done with it. We're stopping it. And these evil bastards, whether you're on the left side or the right side or whoever, if you're in it, you should be held accountable.
And it's zero about political sides or political affiliations. We could give a shit less about that. We respect everybody's right to whatever you believe. It's about stopping this shit and allowing and them allowing this to go on, you know. And who knows where it is? Like Jeremy says, knowledge is power. You know, we want to make the world a better place. And
for sure,
we have stood and not said so much for so long because, you know, just we try to remain neutral and things. And probably we're not going to do it here on the stream. We might do it on a separate one. There's more. We're going to figure it out over time, but we're going to get into this because we're not going to stand idly by and let this garbage keep going on in this world and letting these sick fucks pollute the world and hurt people and hurt children, hurt innocent people. This is wrong. And we want to be a part of the solution, not the problem.
Yep,
so
for sure.
In the coming months, we will be doing it. It's not going to be anytime soon over the next couple months. I'll say that because I have personal reasons, you know, that I'll leave it that, you know, that I have to take care of a few other things first. And, you know, with my job, you know, I have to be careful politically with how I embark on things. So I got to figure a few things out. Not that I can't do it. Freedom of speech, of course. Not that we're going to be doing anything wrong. But we got to put a couple things together just because of our lives and, you know, who we are before we do this and go down this route. Because, you know, sometimes people get kooky and crazy when you talk about stuff like this. And, you know, we want to make sure that we do it in the right way. So it's going to take us some time to kind of plot it out. And I promise you, if we get into this and we actually go through with part of it, like the payoff to it in the end could be fucking legendary.
That's to say the least. If it all goes well.
Yeah. All goes well is the key word because there's a lot of moving pieces to you know, figure this whole situation out. We're probably not going to be able to figure this whole thing out. It's there's just a lot of interest that we have in this stuff and want to do that's not being done right now. And I'll leave it at that and say it could be some very compelling stuff to come in the near months, near few months at least, for sure. Do not do it when it's still hot. You get noticed. Yeah, we always got to be careful in today's day and age with things, you know. Yeah. And once again, we're not going to do it in a political way. This has zero to do with politics,
right?
And I'm not saying this would be the only thing we'd cover too, because there might be other cases and things we find out of this that we might kind of crack into. Yeah. So we kind of see it like a true crime type show and podcast. I think you would kind of put it in that genre, right, Richie?
Yeah, I would say so. And you know, it's just something. It's something in my spirit that's been pulling at me. This is the best of times. This is the worst of times. But one thing that you can honestly say, it's probably the most exciting time in human history because the mask is coming off and we're seeing things for what they really are. And, you know, it's just like They Live, man. You start to realize that they're all part of it. You put the glasses on, you can't take them back off. So
we did something like this with wrestling years ago too. And I have to say this, people could dispute me on this all day long and say whatever they want. You know the truth, and so do I. We did a show with wrestling on this years ago, which dove into wrestling things like this and wrestling conspiracy theories. And we called it Wrestling Anonymous. And then Colt Command ended up taking the name years later for his, but we had done it. We had just started to get a little success with it. Some things happened, and that was that. Some of the best shows I think we ever did was those type of shows where we did that stuff, broke into it. And I thought it was super interesting. We had always had great feedback on it from real people and not fucking trolls, you know. Real people would give good feedback on it all the time we were doing it. And I think we could do some really, really cool stuff here with this and this other side of things. It's not just wrestling conspiracy stuff or wrestling theory or crime. You know, I'm excited to do this in the coming months. So I would probably project maybe in the summertime we are able to get this done.
That's a good timeline, because I want to do some heavy research, and I don't want this to be sloppy when we put it out, and I want it to be presented in the best way possible. So I think summertime is going to be a good time frame for it. So
yeah, and like you said, preparation is key because there's a lot to read up on this stuff if we're going to make compelling arguments, because this isn't like wrestling where this is just, you know, if you don't know a wrestling history, you don't have a good plot for your show or whatever it is. Me and you usually don't plot much of anything for a show. We go out there. We go off the cuff. We have fun with you guys. We feed off the audience. We don't need some factual based stuff because we're not presenting anything that is that important. You know, it's wrestling. Right. This stuff is stuff that you have to educate yourself on before you start making theories, or else you're just as guilty of all the other idiots out there that just read a headline and think it's the gospel. So you got to look
Right.
into it. So we're going to take some time to prepare properly for it to make it. I think it'll be a fun concept and idea. And
Yep.
I hope we can divulge some very telling information on these scumbags and hopefully get these people some justice that this
For
happened
sure.
to. Let's hope and pray that that's what happens, because
Absolutely.
fuck, man, what happened to them was terrible.
Absolutely.
Awful, man. You don't hurt people, you don't hurt women, you don't hurt children, you don't do any of that shit, man. Like,
Yep.
these scumbags need to go and get what's coming to them, bro.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, buddy. Any closing thoughts for you, my friend?
Appreciate y'all. Sorry we got so serious there at the end. Appreciate y'all coming out and enjoying the show. I loved it. And this is the highlight of my week. We are getting closer to my son being here. I can't wait to share it with him when he gets here. And I appreciate you guys so much, man. Y'all take care this week. And yeah, I mean, I'm getting excited for Mania. Wrestling season is on fire. And yeah, so we'll see you down the road, man.
We got a UFC card coming up this weekend. We're going to try to do it. Yeah, it should be a fun one. Charles Oliveira and Max Holloway. It's the main event on that one. That for the BMF title. That shit's going to be a banger between those two. They're gonna they're gonna do some damage and have some fun. So we're about 90% sure, unless something comes up, that we're going to be here on Saturday with you guys. So come back and join us then. Have some fun. Watch the fights with us. We always have a good time doing it. So come back if we're here. Pay attention to the page on Facebook if you're on Facebook or YouTube. Just make sure you got subscribed so you get notified. And on this video, whatever you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, hit that like button, hit that heart, thumbs up, whatever it might be. We would greatly appreciate that. And feel free to share out the show. And I think that's all the housekeeping. We'll see you guys this weekend, hopefully. Thanks for joining us tonight. For Richie, I'm John. We're out of here. Catch you on the next episode, guys.